truly feels special to be here at the campus where it all began. If you had to go back to my days back then, you would find my report card to be absolutely average. I was not the sharpest, not the most talented. But this is what I have come to believe over the years, is the fact that you cannot fill the talent holes that the God has not given you. But you can surely make the best use of every ounce what has been given. And here I am this afternoon to be sharing my life lessons after I lived them, with all the benefit of the hindsight. And the first thing that comes to my mind is clearly playing the ball on its merit. The phrase itself sounds cliche, but my take is slightly adjacent. When I say playing the ball on its merit, the fact is that your current situation should not dictate how you respond to the next opportunity. For instance, in case you are playing a game of tennis and you are fallen behind, you stop to play the backhand down the line. Similarly, if you're ahead, you start to play a drop shot right from the baseline. Same for a game of poker. When you are on a losing streak, you might underplay a great hand. And when you are winning, you might overplay. We often do the same. But in my life, I pretty much found the same thing happening, and I'll share this story, an incident which will help you understand how such things can become really purposeful, how they define your life and your progression at work. Between 2000 and 2010, we were building the country's largest cold chain infrastructure, backed by a large amount of private equity and a lot of customer tailwinds. We were churning out hundreds of fleet quarter on quarter, and this went on for more than 8 years. But towards early part of 2010, it so happened that one of our large customers changed his supply chain strategy. Our business model became unsustainable. We were forced to pivot to minimize our losses. But ironically, in the same year, Starbucks was looking to come to the country and building its supply chain. It was a modest start, but required significant capital and people commitment. Given the mental state that we were in, it was a difficult thing to look forward to. But we stepped in. And the stepping in that time when mentally we were so weak really transformed us and opened an era for next level of growth for the company. Pretty much what we did for the next 10 to 15 years. And we continue to do that. That's where we created the food service network. This network today, it reaches all across Asia, and all large QSR chains ride this network. But the fact is that had we not come forward and taken that opportunity, clearly the next level of transformation in the company would not have happened. And that's the lesson. Don't let your current state, mental or emotional, decide how you show up. The second lesson that comes to my mind is learn when it's yours to learn. About 10 years into my entrepreneurial journey, I felt something I hadn't in a while, being out of depth. My engineering background had taken me so far, but not far enough. I needed to understand the deeper technical layers of supply chain business that we were building. So I took up an MBA in supply chain technology. But this time, something had changed. For the first time, I wasn't studying for a certificate or a tick in the box. I was learning because I needed to, because it was mine to understand. And I loved it. I did not rush through the course. I did not cram. I absorbed every insight, every framework. I could see its application. But taking a break for 2 years from a self-run business had its own fallouts. Decisions that I could not influence, opportunities I had to miss, even doubts from those around me. It wasn't easy to step away, but I knew this was a season for building depth, not just momentum. And that gave me the sense of fulfillment that no classroom had ever done before. And the last lesson that I wish to share this morning is detach daily to rebuild yourself. Entrepreneurship, or life for that matter, isn't a straight line. It's full of churn, ups, downs, doubts, and chaos. What kept me going was not just the drive, but the ability to let go every single day. Many people turn to meditation or retreats like Vipassana to find awareness and stillness. For me, that came through my hobbies. When I started learning music and later singing, it gave me something nothing else did: stillness. And when I took up early morning cycling, it gave me mental strength, clarity, and detachment. But even hobbies can become monotonous. And to break that inertia, I began taking annual cycling trips: London to Paris, Hebrides in northwest Scotland, Amsterdam into France, Tour de Mont Blanc, and many others. And one such story stands out. Now I've been blessed with some really wonderful friends and a very supportive family. Their company is the most, and the most by a margin, cherished pleasure of my life. Yet it was this solitary trip in the wilderness of Alps, a trip that was overcast with uncertainty. And here is how the story goes. Me and my cousin prepared for a trip. It was 6 months out, nearly 6 hours a day, and 6 days a week. And 2 months prior to this trip, our visas got rejected. Assuming being a clerical error, since ours was a reasonably loaded passport, we applied again. It got rejected again. And just 1 month to go, we went ahead and hired an immigration attorney. Applied again. 48 hours prior to the departure date, mine came and my cousin's did not. It was a hard call, but I decided to go ahead. But to my surprise, none of the logistics agents were ready to take on me, given it was such a short notice. And just a few hours prior, one agent sent out an email agreeing to rent a cycle from a distant place in northeastern Italy, a place called Trieste. And this random trip that started from Italy went all the way to Slovenia and to Croatia. 10 days of pure wanderlust. And then an important realization dawned upon me. I realized that my limitation and boundaries, be it physical, intellectual, or emotional, extended much further than what I thought they would. I had more in me than I had imagined. I guess all of us do. That more just needs to be tapped into. And tonight, it is this optimistic note that I want to leave you with. Which brings me to the iconic line. अगर किसी चीज़ को शिद्दत से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात उसे तुमसे मिलाने की कोशिश करती है. If I could go back and meet my 16-year-old self walking around this campus, I won't give him advice on business or on success. I would just say this: it's ball by ball, decision by decision, on merit, not on fear, not on history. I did not set out to do anything exceptional, but life had plans, and I stayed open, ready, and alive to them. That's all I hope for you.